Right, hello, hello. Sorry about that. I was trying to get Kit ready, and then all of a sudden I heard a crunch, and I was like, "Oh God!" He was messing up the girls' toys. We can't be having that. I'll never live that one down. Anyway, um, all right. So yeah, interesting morning. I was wrong yesterday. I was talking about data being, I didn't expect any type of change whatsoever inside of, with the unemployment rate. I expected it to hold and be good, right? I was wrong. I'm always willing to admit when I'm wrong. It actually went down, which again that leads to some major movement in the markets. Um, so yeah, um, with that out, then all of a sudden, I mentioned that I expected to see a little bit of movement in the other direction as well. Hiring coming in better than expected, and it was not only was it better, um, it like blew it out of the water. It was like astronomically higher. Um, so yeah, there's that. uh, Not just a little bit, over double, and they adjusted it last time too, which is the craziest part about this. Um, right? Um, just unbelievable numbers. I don't even know what to say about it. It's just I did not expect that much. That is a huge, huge, huge number. Um, and because of it, obviously we've had just a little bit of movement. So today is going to be a little bit different of a trading day, right? Reason why is because the amount of movement that we've had, um, you know, justified, not justified. The reality is it's there. There's not much we can do or say about it. It's in. I was kind of yesterday. I mentioned this that listen, if this thing comes in just a little bit high, it could be a big red day, and it's going to be crazy. It's good as bad, and bad is good, and there's a little bit out of the range of what's expected, and then there's just crazy, and this number is just crazy, right? I mean, a drop a point. I mean, here's the thing: the expectation was. I thought it was going to be 3.5, right? They keep assuming that it's going to be high, and again, this shows that like how off the market actually is. Um, it was a drop. And then, same thing here. I mean, the adjustment, that's a pretty decent adjustment. That's 40,000 jobs. But not only is everything going down, it's going up at an accelerated rate. And that was what the Fed said, that labor is still way too hot, right? Now we'll see at 10 o'clock, will services screw this up and mess it up for the morning, right? It's expected to be above, right? And again, if they're hiring this many people back, services should be up there, right? We're looking for it to go above 50 to show, expansion. Um, Again, this kind of goes back to the good is bad and bad is good type scenario, right? Um, yeah, I mean, don't know what to say. It's like, wow. And again, because of it, you're looking at some of these pip changes. I mean, yeah, this is down 52, but you can see all the reversal coming back again. Pound dollar. We talked about if we were going to play dollar strength today, that pound dollar was going to be it. Pound dollar's down 150, 155, 156, right? Dollar yen, 190, 191 up, right? And again, we know that is the dollar, not the yen, because the pound yen is only 33. And again, we have weakness over here in the pound. Euro pound up 70. That's a good amount. Aussie dollar down 131. Dollar CAD up 96. Dollar Swiss up 120. I mean, all good things, right? But here's the problem. It's Friday, right? So the question is, are we going to be able to get retracements in? Are these going to be considered, true releases that are fundamental changes? There's a lot going on here, right? And again, we'll make Friday more difficult. Typically, you guys know I like to be completely out by 10 or 11 o'clock. At this point, you should be out. You should be done. I mean, you could play the retracements, but, are they going to be true fundamental changes in the market is what the question is. Um, and again, I mean, it goes back to it. I don't think the Fed was going to do anything different based off of Wednesday, right? It's nice to say that, yeah, we're starting to see it, but they had laid out kind of what the plan looked like, right? Today just further justifies that they're going to continue to lay out things the same way that they were going to do it before. Does it change much? No, I feel like no, not really. I just, there's just no reason for it to change much, right? Labor is still too high, right? People are again getting paid more, right? We know that wage earnings are, I mean, again, holding firm, but here's the thing: they were up last time as an adjustment as well too. So it's one of those things. You keep paying people more, inflation will just naturally continue to grow, um, and that's the reality of it is that's what's going to continue to happen. So I'd love to say that inflation is done. We don't have to worry about anything anymore, but I think the Fed's going to continue its path. I think 252525 is still appropriate. I'm pretty sure that's what we'll still get unless there's anything, sudden crazy changes or whatever. But I don't think. I mean, I think that's pretty much that's what we're going to see. Sorry, Melissa was sending a message again. What? No. Uh, Sorry, we're trying to figure out the drop off and pick up today. Drop off's done, but pick up the pickup side of things. Yeah, she goes away next week on a business trip, so it's kind of like crazy. So that's what we got. Obviously nothing tomorrow, right? Nothing on Sunday. So, the next news we have is really Monday morning, and that's where we have Australian data coming into the markets. Yeah, that's it. It's gonna be the weekend. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a blizzard. The groundhog style shadow, and maybe it's that's it. We're getting blizzards now. Who knows? But anyway, today is one of those like bad is good type scenarios, and I think this is going to jack the market all over the place. Just for the fact that people are going to see this and it's like, how do we respond to this? I mean, it's awesome, right? They're hiring more people, are getting jobs, the unemployment rate is going down. All this is awesome. This is great. But again, labor is the one factor right now. The labor market is what's driving inflation. So it's a bad is good. It is really kind of where we're at. Looking at the VIX. So obviously the VIX is a little bit nuts, right? As you would expect, right? VIX is up right now because again, the markets are all in the red, right? I think the markets have the ability to be much deeper in the red than they actually are. I think right now they're holding okay. There was the initial response, and the initial response was kind of expected. We had a retracement back up again, but overall, you see that the VIX is still kind of on the high side, right? Kind of on the high side, and the reality is as it should be. Everything in here justifies a big red day, right? We love to end on that Feel Good Friday, but reality is Powell has everything he needs to continue to raise interest rates to whatever rate he feels like at this point, right? They said late, but we would have to get the 4.6, and that's what would stem inflation and slow it down. We're at 3.4. We're going in the opposite direction. So, yeah, that's where we're at. The Dow, the dollar. So dollar is obviously up, right, as it should be. Again, I don't think it changes anything, but I do feel that the perception of the market was that Powell was not going to continue to raise at the same rate. Again, I don't know why the market felt that way or was so strong about that one. All the big names said it. Everyone in the Fed had said it, and everybody said that it was appropriate. But yet the market, for some reason, was like, nah, it's okay, it's all good, right? They're not gonna actually do it. They don't actually mean it. I think I don't think it changes their trajectory whatsoever. Okay. So being high, will we see a bit of a retracement today? Probably a little bit of a pullback. Yeah. I think there's some probably in there. Are we going to get a full retracement today? I don't know. That's quite a big jump. 101.60 all the way up to 102.50. Actually, I guess it went all the way up. It went up a full dollar. There's obviously going to be some profit taking in this. But I don't know if we can get back down, nor should it be. Again, I feel like the market was kind of overly pessimistic on this one. So, yeah, probably a run back. But again, other major nations are getting out of this one, so this is going to be purely a dollar play at this point. Obviously, indices are all in the red, and the reality is they should be much, much lower. I mean, maybe it is so bad, maybe the data was so good that people realize that it was so bad that everybody tries to short, right? Maybe they've caught on, and maybe that's what leads us to go higher to stop a whole bunch of people out today. But reality is that interest rates are going to continue to rise. Oil up. But when I say up, we're talking about 76, not even $77. So kind of crazy. And then obviously 238 on natural gas, down 3% again. Yeah, can we see 2? I wonder if we can hit 2 by March. I'm really kind of getting excited. I'm like, oh, we could get below 2. I may just start blowing propane just to get it cheap again or something, And then gold and silver, obviously down. Silver twice as bad as gold. Easy setup in gold today. You should have been able to grab that one. And that brings us down to the currency pair. So yeah, I mean, really right now, again, you can see we blew through some of these lower levels out here. Again, I'll adjust this to kind of what really matters at this point is going from top to bottom. Um, again, a lot of these targets, and again, look at this, kind of based up again and then pulled. It's like, yep, it's hanging, and then just a huge collapse. I mean, it really did exactly what it should have done. Again, those are out. I'm just going to take these off and kind of put new ones on. Yeah, you can see that's exactly what it ran into. This spacing right here. That's exactly what we ran into. So let's see. It's about an 80 pip run to the downside. So we did about 1 day's worth of an ATR, right, in one candle. Actually, let me change this back to a 30. So right now we're seeing all that profit taking coming in. Man, can we get a full? I don't know. Maybe we. 9:45. So right now we got to see. This is trying to prepare for ISM, right? This much movement. Let's see. We've got off that bounce. About 25 pips. Mr. Bubbuds. Got 13 minutes. According to the latest PSI, huh? Look at that. So they're saying that, look, U.S. business activity contraction, it says eases at the start of 23, but cost pressures strengthen once again. So, is this what we're about to see here? Did the news come out too early? Huh. Maybe, maybe not. But anyway, I think right now we're seeing the profit taken for the big drop. We're looking for the pullback, and what's happening right now is the news is actually affecting this one. It's trying to prepare for the next result. Now, it did push this limit. Did really obviously go all the way down to the bottom. So, could we use this zone? Not really. I probably wouldn't do too much with it. You know what? I'm wondering if people are lining up more shorts. Yeah, probably. That's retake from the last true pivot because that wasn't as high. Ooh, it's trying. It's trying. Actually, I'm going to mark off this right here. 1 to 3 is sitting right there. It's a lot. It's a lot of room to go. It's 70. Hmm. Honestly, if this misses right now, all this does is I don't know that a miss there sends this all the way back up again. I just think the non-farm beta was just too strong. I think this data is just so far outside of what the expectation was. I don't know that if it again if it is above 50, again showing that expansion there, then yes, this should shoot right back to the downside. Question is trying to find a good spot to get in, and maybe it comes up to the 23. It's got what, about 11 minutes to go, and it's only got to move about 12 pips. So, it absolutely can move that range, right? But I'm wondering if this is just a quick reprieve and then we shoot lower. Like, where does this go next? Probably. I mean, there's a little bit of a bounce here, but I don't know that that will hold it. Probably here or here to the downside. If that data comes in good, let's see, how much room do we have? Yeah, it's 40 and 90. I don't know that we can get to the 90. I'm wondering if we pull through this zone and we go down. I'm wondering if this is the target for that next news release. Because then we got 10 minutes, and look at the rally 10 minutes before that news coming out, right? It's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I kind of like this one ending lower today. I think this maintains. Yeah, because even if it comes up as contraction, I don't think it changes too much. I think the data on there is just too I think it's just too strong to deny what it was, right? I think it's just too strong. Yeah. See what else the yen has going on. Now, Aussie yen, obviously the opposite direction. Why? Because of the yen, right? The yen is what's moving this one. Now Aussie yen is an interesting spot too here. Hmm. Look at. Sec. Sorry, I hit a button and it moved. It closed all my windows. All right. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna drag this over so I don't have to draw another one. I'm gonna pull that there. I'm gonna pull this down. I missed it by just a little bit. I was actually looking at this level right here. This 9150 level. Look at. Got a little bit of basing actually going on right there. Right. Again, hit it, and then again, a little confirmation there. Getting pretty close to this one. Where's that price tag? Right in there. It may have turned too quickly. Reason I'm looking for that one, again, it's not a 23. We're not going to get any help from the 23 or the 50 on this one, but it is obviously level of base, and we hit it, push down, pull back, and then boom, took off of it. Being the fact that we're getting close to 10 o'clock, we do have news. That would have been a great news one. And again, if it shows contraction and we start to see again, maybe the indices rallying back up again, or again, if it comes in good, if it's a horrible number, right? And we see the indices starting to rally up into the green, that should bring strength back into the yen, which will also turn and roll this one back to the downside. Yeah, we're seeing it already start to move. That would have been a nice level. But that's what it ran off of, the 90.50. Damn, I don't think this one's going to go either. This one, I think this one's probably going to go. I don't think we're going to get entry on this one. Three, four. That's what happens when you have news that's that big right before. Way to go, non-farm. Way to screw up all my analysis today. Yeah, I like this one to come back down. How much room does it got to go? 52. Look at it already pulling down. Right? The profit taking came in, and then they ran out of the profit taking. Whoops. I like that level. Maybe we can get a pop. How much is it? How much of a pop do we need? What pop do we need? 28. Yeah, we're gonna come back to this one. I like that for a pop. We need the right news. Again, we may not get up there. I think it may just turn and continue to push back to the downside. I think it may follow this blue line. Yeah, I think it may just follow the blue line. I don't know that we're gonna get a full. Whoa, butts. Oh, you just getting a drink? Okay. Whew, that scared me. I heard this thump, 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 thump right next to me. He's got a heavy crawl. Yeah, so if we can get a pop to 91.14, I think that one's pretty good. Again, we will get a little bit of a backstop on it at this level right here, right at that 50 level. So we will get a little bit of help of it. But again, it's going to be a pure yen play. It has nothing to do with Australia at this point. That one is done. Euro dollar is seeing a big pop down again. Now, again, when this came all the way back up, let's see. We didn't need this. Let's pull that. Or don't. Why is it not doing it now? Hello? Okay. That was weird. I was like trying to delete it and it lagged off us. All right, so let's pull this. You guys can see the same pop. We talked about this one yesterday, 61.8. You can see that this one is done and out. That was from yesterday, right? Talked about that level, but again, obviously well, one's there, 2, 3, 4, right? And it broke and then collapsed. All right. So, did that hit that? It did hit that. Man. Ugh. Yeah. So it tagged that one. I'm telling you, I feel like this is setting up for an additional short as well. Right now, they extended the green. You can see right there. 76. This anymore? Down. Got it. Got so close. So close. Yeah. I mean, this looks like it's set for a short as well. It's 14 pips too. It's not a horrible level there. Yeah, I mean this one is 1-3 is a little bit low. It's gonna have to break through the bottom. Hmm. That's set the same way. Problem with this one is now we are absolutely again we had pulled back up again. We are absolutely right, absolutely sitting in the bottom of the curve right now. But really, I don't really. I mean, I like targets down here at 107.82. I don't really. I mean, as far as a long goes, I don't. This zone does nothing for me because it's been hit multiple times, and this is basically a double bottom here. Well, a mirror bottom. I don't like anything really to 107.81, and it's kind of been there, but it's been front run off of it. So yeah, for me right now, I'm looking for this to come down to 107.81, right? And again, if we get a good ISM number, right, we get a good number here that should help drive that down. So we'll see. Yeah. Euro pound. All right, so we talked about this one yesterday. We can get rid of it now. Delete it. Get it ready for next week. That one is still good for next week. We're gonna leave that one there. We don't need this. I guess I can run that all the way up. Actually, I'm going to run more of a near term one. I'm going to run from, whoops, I'm going to run from here up. Oh, look at that. That's okay. I'm okay with that one. I'm okay with that one. This is going to be on the radar for next week. All right, here we go. Look, it's starting to bounce. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? Wow. 55. Not only did it go higher, it went a little bit more higher, right? Up to 55. Now again, difference between 51 and 55 really is nothing big. It's really the 50 number that we're looking for. It's almost kind of like a pass fail type scenario, right? But again, it's another one of those ones that is kind of up. Something just went off. Uh, maybe was it the euro yen? Could have been the euro yen. It may have been the euro yen, but no, pound dollar. All right, we'll be in the pound dollar in a second. So yeah, so we're looking for a top on this one. And again, as this is continuing to move, the 50 will go with it. So, you know, this market's pretty much over. There's 2 hours to go in the euro pound. Again, we've been talking about pound weakness coming in. Again, they are going to have to stop. They're already in a recession. I think the 50 is it for them. I think they're absolutely going to do a pause next time. Again, the euro is going to continue to raise. So I think fundamentally this one continues to go up. I think we're looking for it to shoot probably up into the 90 range. 90 is sitting right there. I think this is a big area that we're going to want to look out for because I think, for me, my personal opinion is typically we'd like to see if it is more of a weaker euro, I'm sorry, a weaker UK situation. 88 seems to be kind of the median for me, right? I think when they're both going at the same rate, both good, both strong, or both weak, I think 86 makes the most sense. 83 is kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum where we have a good euro and I'm sorry, a bad euro and a good pound. Um, so right now we're definitely on the upper end of the curve. Yeah, you got it, buds. But 90 for me looks like a bit of a top. So again, for next week, we are kind of high, but we're going to need some really disappointing data out of the EU. I think the EU will have the ability to kind of push up into there. So I'd like to see a new high established next week. But right now, not willing to take a short on it, but we are in the upper end of the curve. Now, there we go. Actually, it's funny. This was from obviously Wednesday or Thursday data, right? We're starting off on Thursday. Had that strong push to the downside, right? And now all we've done is we've retraced back up fully. So we had the short here. Let's delete all these to clean them up for next week, right? And funny enough, we're getting close to two tops. So really straight up, we know why it's going up today. This is from last week. Let's pull these, get these out of the way. That alert we don't need right now. European session is there. All right, so looking at this now, you can see the level we're about to approach. It is an area. No, but we don't want to do that. The 141.80. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've kind of hit 4, so we're really looking for 142.18, 142.19. That would require one more push forward, about 43. European market's open, so we really need help from the yen on this one to stay weak. Again, we do have the weak yen, but the question is, are we able to, one, break through the last bit of sellers here, and two, can we travel another 40 pips and then be able to turn and roll back down again before the market closes today? So it's only 10 o'clock, but we do have plenty of time. I think that's I think this one breaks. I think this becomes a short. And again, this one has the ability to be a trade for next week as well. Again, if we break into Sunday, if it doesn't break today, Friday, Sunday is right there. Looking for a bit of a position here. And the reason I like this one is because obviously today, right? Obviously today with all the news, the Dow and the yen as a proxy, right? Getting smoked, right? Getting smoked. But I do think we will have a bit of reversal. Maybe not as extreme as this, but I do think that comes in. So 142, looking for that one to pull down. And again, this is a Sunday night base trade, right? 142.19 down to 141.80. Looking at the pound dollar. So yeah, I mean, not really much surprise on this one. You can see it was a little bit above the 23.6. We knew it was already level sitting there. And again, we were looking for kind of the break. We mentioned it yesterday. If you're going to go weak, if you're playing strong dollar, which again, the way that this rallied up, right? Look, here's the European session. Again, kind of a telltale sign. Nothing I can do with it right now, by the way. There's the European Open. Drove up, weighted at a high level just above the 23.6. It was kind of screaming that, hey, listen, it's going to be a dollar strength-based move. And we said, if you're playing dollar strength tomorrow, do it in the pound dollar. The pound is weaker. It absolutely was 100%. And you're seeing, euro dollar's down 0.77, pound dollar's down 1.19, right, percent. So a bit of a difference between the two. And again, profit taking, and we continue to push lower. So, we're talking about a Harry Potter trade here. Again, it kind of got Harry Potter trades are continuation, not news. This is somewhat of a continuation, but we need a base, a pullback, and a continued drop down again. So, yeah, take it for what it's worth. It's sitting there. We've talked about that level. It's been there for a while. I do think that it has the ability to come all the way down today. By the end of the day, I think we may be at the bottom of this one. So, yeah, fortunately, this is what happens when you have something like non-farm. How much has this moved so far? Let's see. From pre-news move to now, 192. So it's got a 122 ATR. So we're basically 1.5 times already what it's capable of doing. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't get in front of this one. I'm all on board the dollar strength, pound weakness. So for me, this one it really needs to get back down to all the way down to here, really, before I'm starting to look for buys. Right? It's got quite a bit of ways to go for me. Right? 118.68. So yeah. Pound yen. There's its pop. You can see the consolidation. It ended up breaking through yesterday. We're wondering if we're gonna again. We were looking for a bit. There's your Harry Potter. Right? It was a level. Again, it pushed the level. It hit it again. You're like, yeah, it's breaking. And it broke. It based. It pulled back. And at 4 o'clock yesterday, the short came in. And there's the short. And the 1 to 3 is sitting right. 1 to 3 is right there, dead on. And you got out right at the European Open. So this was a nice little 125 for 75. Got to be extremely happy about that. But again, once this one went all the way down, the 731 literally pushed the zone. You're like, yep, let's look for the break. And it did. That was where the basing is. It came back, right? Nice little pause, right? Drop, base, pull back, and pull the trigger. And there you go. Before pushing higher. So right now, I'm definitely weak pound, but I think today is the weak euro is going to be the weak euro is going to be the big one, unfortunately. Yeah, and there's nothing here to stop this one. Reality is until we get up to probably that level, there's nothing. We can take this and run this down and realize it. Look, you can see the 50, even the 50 comes in. This clearing candle right here really is kind of open this one up all the way. Oops. Get this set for next week. There we go. Yeah, nothing else. Again, pound closed is all going to be yen. There's no reason why this one stops until 155. Or I'm sorry, 159.39. Or here, we can make it 139.40. There you go. I shorted it from, thought it was previous support term resistance confirmed until Tuesday. Was that a good analysis or did I just get lucky? You shorted it yesterday, like in here. Hold on, let's see. You shorted at pound dollar. Sorry, hold on. Well, that's pretty close. At 122.6. Yeah, from here. You shorted here or you shorted yesterday? Did you short it this morning or are you saying on this pullback here? Careful, Bubbods. It was a good short. Yeah, I mean, if you shorted it here this morning, then yes, that was a good short for news. I mean, I think all the signs were kind of pointing that direction. Like I said, I'm not surprised whatsoever that it was weak. We talked about if you're playing the weak trade, definitely get in there and short this one. If you got this entire move and maybe your target was here, then yes, maybe you got lucky. But yeah, I don't think that there was any problems with this. I mean, this is not the greatest. I mean, you could say that it was confirmed, right? You could say there's a little confirmation in here, but for the most part, once it flatlined right here at 7 o'clock, I think check. I get 55. Yeah, once it flatlined right here, oh, you got 55. You got 25% of the move. Yeah, once it flatlined right here, yeah, it was kind of it was definitely a short, right? You want to be shorting that, right? Because again, what do the Europeans do? Europeans sent it up. Yeah, the Europeans sent it up, from straight up to prepare for that news, and then it was waiting. It was the waiting game. So yeah, the Europeans told you what was going to happen. Right? Yeah, with any big release, that's the first thing you want to do. And again, for anybody on the channel, we've talked about this plenty of times, but whenever you say that there's a news release there at 8:30, and again, I'm just dumping it. This is not at 8:30 in the morning. This is a Tuesday at actually midnight. But here, we'll do it like this. There, that's an 8:30 release. Balance of trade, I don't really care about. But whenever you see a big kind of news release, always mark it off on your chart. Look where it is, and then always bring it back and look for the European Open. Right, the time frame between the European Open and the U.S. Open. If I did the same thing for this news release right here, we know that the 8:30 was right there. And again, you can see people jumping; they couldn't wait any longer. And your 3 o'clock is right there. So what happened in this time frame, right? they took it up, right? In preparation for when the news came out. And then when they took it up, the immediate response was this, right? That's the pattern. Europeans set it up to get a better price on it, and then boom, straight to the downside. Okay. And again, remember, no one's seen this data before. Sure. Yeah, I'm not even concerned about where the bottom will be. We'll see. Right now it's here, but we'll see where it's coming through. All right, dollar CAD. So dollar CAD. Once we got the turnaround here at 4 o'clock in the morning, this invalidated this as a zone, right? Once it turned, we needed it again. When it was being down here, we were not going to, there's no way that this 30-minute zone here, right? This old violated zone was going to hold. Doesn't happen that way. Once it turned, this was the trade. You have to remove it, right? It's not designed to be a top, right? It was designed for this. We missed it. It happens. As you can see, it kind of went through here. And again, this spike as it was pulling back again. Pure dollar play on this one, but again, was this the best level? No, the pound dollar was a much better level to be trading. And again, this one had started the pull forward at 7 o'clock and was like holding right here. So yeah, I mean, we expected this one to pop, and I think it's in a good spot right now. Again, we knew coming off that 133, we were looking for it to pull back. I don't think, yeah, I mean, we're not really at any levels, right? At a 50, it was kind of like, yeah, we're trying to push through, but it already done it once. It front run here, so yeah, and it's funny, it's using it now on the other side. I'd say right now we're kind of getting tops and bottom in this one. I think these are our two areas that we're looking for. There's an interesting spot for Sunday night, right? If we are able to retrace back down today, there was a basic confirmation, then that thing launched off of it. So again, this could be, maybe this is like a Tuesday thing once we see a full retracement. No one sees the data. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You can't see it because I don't have the camera on, but that was my, doing my quotes, right? Quote, no one can see the data. Yeah. People saw the data. Don't worry. Yeah. I mean, until, like I said, the people that can see it are also happen to be the people that make the rules about being able to trade. And they keep talking about how they're going to put rules in, right? Like I said, if Nancy chairs it that way, that keeps her husband out of jail, right? He can put $1 million Tesla position in right before we, right before we cancel the pipeline. Not like Nancy didn't know that was coming, so it's kind of suspect. Hey, put it this way. If I would have traded it, and my wife is not a senator, obviously, but if I would have put on that big of a position and then that big of a news release, I'll tell you right now, there would have been a folder on me and a red flag, right? But he gets away with it, and they're like, yeah, whatever, no big deal, right? Again, every other industry in the world except government, you are not allowed to do that kind of stuff. It absolutely 100%, Jeff, absolutely 100%, right? Absolutely, right? And then she's going to bring up legislation. Oh, we shouldn't trade. Yeah. 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 You should see. And again, if you guys don't believe me, right? This is not tinfoil stuff here. Go back and look. The last bailout, when the too big to fail. Look at how many senators. And again, remember, we let one fail, but we saved Bank of America, right? The government bailed Bank of America out, bought warrants for 6. Sold it all for between 12 and 13, doubled the government's money, right? Again, it was the taxpayer money, right? Because the taxpayers paid for that. And the government doubled it, but they didn't give us like the money back. We didn't share the profits there. Go look to see, and you can find this, it's out there. How many senators owned Bank of America at the time? Yeah. Yep, just go look at it. Right? Go look at it. You'll be surprised. So right now, dollar CAD pulling back, not surprised whatsoever. It is profit taking coming in because that was so much movement. It was beyond an ATR, so it's looking for it to come back down. I think this 133.53 is a good spot for Sunday. Sunday or Monday, if we can get down to there, I'm good with that one. I think dollar strength rolls back in, and I think CAD weakness will start to roll in as well. I think the more people that start talking about, this is why we're going to keep raising. You're going to have Bullard be like, "I told you so, guys. We need a 0.5, right?" And 0.5 wouldn't have made any difference in the world. So still continuing to roll. Dollar Swiss, also big move. And again, we just talked about this, and I just switched over the chart. What do we say? Europeans, what did they do? They sent it down, and then it flatlined. We're like, yeah, we're ready, right? We're ready. And again, this is not a news-based zone, right? This was a pullback once it turned here. This also invalidated itself. So again, it's not one of those zones, just so everybody understands, right? But once they push us down, you were looking to go long, and the response from news was Now it's up to 140, but the immediate response was 100 pips, and this was a 90 pip ATR. So again, very easy telltale sign of what's about to happen. Um, Now it's having some trouble up here, and again, that's where it stopped originally on this 78. So I don't really care about the 78. Here's the second level, and it's a shame that didn't come up just a little bit more because again, it's so overextended right now. Look at this. Bollinger Bands. There you go. Look at this. Look at the pinch, right? And then boom, it is so far outside of the bands right now. The band is right here. You guys can't see. The band is right here. So had that touched it, yeah, you got to pull that trigger because it's so far outside. It's at the top of the curve. It didn't get up there, unfortunately. It missed it by just a little bit. So, I think this is this is an important level. We can look at it. We can say, hey, listen, if this does reverse, is this could this be a nice little Harry Potter entry to get a parabolic retracement? I'd say yes, probably. Whoops, it's not that. I'm looking for this one to go short. And again, is it a today thing? It could be. I don't think we'd be able to get the full profit target today before the end of the day. But again, this is one of those ones you're kind of cheering for this one to come in on Sunday night, not on Friday afternoon, right? But the way that it's looking right now with it pulling back, I mean, again, it's profit taking. This is what you expect. Again, if you can bank all that profit, you get yourself out of the trade. So yeah, but again, a break of 192. If we get a drop at base and a pullback, then yes, this one could. And again, it is a dollar pair, so again, it will be traded all day today. So maybe this one does trigger, right? Yeah, and maybe like 11:30, right? Maybe 11:30, 12 o'clock, we hit this one and then roll down. It's only got to move 40 pips, so I feel like what happens. I feel like if this one triggers, it's going to stop somewhere around in here. You're gonna have to close it down just a little bit early, which is fine. It's not a big deal. Dollar yen. There we go. Look at this. Same thing. Again, same lesson. And again, after this big of a move in price, there's really not much I can tell you guys right now. Again, there's going to be a reversal on there, but there's 3 o'clock candle, right? There's 3 o'clock. There's your big move. What did it do during the European session? They sent it straight down. They prepared it. It was sitting right here. There's your confirmed level, right? Right above it. Again, you pull that trigger. You go long right before the news, and there you go. Monstrous explosion move. And again, cut through 129, hit 130 and bounced a little bit. And then boom, the second surge for the second news sent us right up. And we mentioned that there was a level sitting up here, right? And again, it was a sloppy level. We just, again, I drew it purple because I know there's a level there. I was waiting for it to kind of turn, and I would expect this one to kind of push back down again. We don't need this. And again, this is not designed for a reversal. Again, same thing with that one. It was not designed. This was a pullback level that we drew, not a reversal level. I guess we'll do it from here. You should do it from here, but people look at this one and say, okay, where is it at? None of the fibs actually line up well. The 23 is nothing, right? The 130 is a little bit of a hiccup off of that. The 50, absolutely nothing. 61.8, absolutely nothing. 786 is the only one down here at 129, right? Yeah, I mean, I would say targets right now, I would say targets for me today is probably back down here in the 130, 15-ish level. I don't know if we're going to be able to break through the 130 level. Again, there are buyers sitting in there in this nice base rally. So it's there. But again, it's Friday. You guys shouldn't be trading past 11 anyway. So we're kind of getting to that limit now. So again, I would expect it to roll back down again. The profit taking rolls in and that's it. Nothing more. All right. TLT, no surprise here. And again, TLT would have been one of those ones you were looking to short before the day opened today. Again, knowing that data was coming in, again, with the peak there, with a little bit of a pullback, yeah, it was an awesome short. I mean, we've talked about this one being, in this upper range, getting ready to short anyway. And again, I just continue this across. I mean, it's an easy short. Looking at CL. CL did pull back, although it didn't give us a great entry. We were looking for it to come all the way down. Looks like yesterday it kind of came up to here again and gave us the push, but it wasn't as clean as we hoped. It looks like it hit here at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're looking for more. I know yesterday we were talking about it coming down and tagging the 76. It turned a little bit early, so it's unfortunate. It would have been more of like a here thing. And then again, yeah, the level up here at 23. So we were looking for just a bit more. it turned early. And again, you can see the selling. Actually, the confirmation for that level would have been here, right? This confirmation. So yeah, it worked. It kind of did what we did, although it didn't go as low. We were looking for just a bit more of a push. Again, plenty of touches. This is not meant to hold. So right now, again, we are kind of in a bit of a racetrack. I would say there's probably something sitting here around the 50. Oh, that's the, I know. I'm like, what is that right there? That was the new setup. We'll pull that off now. It's kind of a crappy one. So there's two small levels here. Right. Right now, oil should be up on a fundamental basis, right? For fundamentals, it should be up, but I bet you this does turn and roll next week as we hear. Hold on one sec. All right. So yeah, I would say probably look for something as a turn and reversal. This is for next week though. This 78, 73. Obviously, this data is great. A lot more people hired back. There's a lot more demand. It shows, again, there should be a push on there. But we've had so much supply, even with all those people getting, back. Again, this is not exactly the demand driver, but Russia to boost currency sales to offset energy revenue drop, right? This is exactly what the U.S. wants, right? And again, understand the U.S. exports. We sell some oil. We have oil companies here. But the U.S. is so big into, yeah, we're going to stick it to Russia. They want the price to go lower and lower and lower. So Russia can't, fuel their army. But again, it's kind of like, that saying, cutting off your nose to spite your face type thing. Yeah, it's like, let's crash all our oil companies in the United States just so we can hurt Russia, right? It's mutually assured destruction is kind of what that goes back to. So I do think this one turns and rolls next week. Let it continue to rise today for increased demand, and we should see that early next week. I wouldn't actually, depending on how far we can actually run this one up, I think this could be one of those week-long swing trades next week. It'll take this turn to the downside. Natural gas, very excited about this one. You can see we pushed all the way down. We ended up going back up to that 250 mark, which is also one of those big things you got to love, pulling back to those round numbers. And right now, we're continuing to push down. I love it. I'm thinking 2 next week. I'm wondering, like I said, we're at 240 right now with a continued push lower. Here, actually, let's put the horizontal line because this is a big deal. Come on, Kip. There we go. It is on. It's officially on the board now, right? Come on, Kip. You want to sit up here? Oh, all right. You got to be good though. Got to be good. Yeah, as far as natural gas, like I said, we're shooting for 2 next week. I think we may have the ability to get down there. I know we have a little bit of a cold snap this weekend for us, and then it's supposed to get nicer again next week. So I don't know. Depending on where we open on Sunday, I think if we're in the 225 range, I think this is our target for next Friday or maybe Thursday or something like that. Especially when oil starts to kind of deteriorate as well. I think natural gas has the ability to go down. Right now, again, tracking it for this week, we said last week that natural gas was a sell for the week. You can see it had a big gap down again. Never got back up to the entry, but it did. It just continued to deteriorate for the whole week. There was your opening. Looks like that's where we're ending. So looking for another week like this. Maybe we do the same thing with a measured move. If we take it, let's say it closes right here, right? Right there's your Friday close. You can see that next week we could be well within range of hitting that 2%, or that not 2%, the $2 mark. And that's where I think that's where it really deserves to be at this point. Gold. Gold pretty easy, right? Gold pretty easy. What did it do? It maintained and held. We knew we had a little Harry Potter action going in here, right? Let's delete these so we can, people are like, why are there so many lines? Let's delete all these lines and let's push down. Again, drove that down for that. Again, this was the same thing because we had the second release at 10 o'clock, right? So there's your 10, boom, 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 boom. Nope, we're not going to touch the coffee. Nope, I'll put my foot down, right? Pretty easy. You're seeing the base right there. So, yeah. So let's see. Maybe slice through that one. That's good, and that's where we're at right now. So we are at a level where we would expect to see a little bit of reversal, especially with profit taking in right now. This is a zone that we had buyers at before. You guys can see it right there. Level of basing, and we tagged it. It was a pretty nice little hit. Um, you know, that's what we ran into, right? It moves so much in such a short period of time. You should be getting profit taking right now. So we should kick up a little bit. Um, again, last week I mentioned the same thing. I was overall, it was bullish thinking for the week. Here, I'm gonna eat your foot. I'm gonna eat your foot with that, right? Um, I'd like to see where we open. I'd like to see it pop up. I like being below 1900 right now. I don't know that we can make it to 1800. That's quite a big drop. Maybe if there's more comments on Monday, something big. But I just feel like there's two levels right here. You can see we got a bit of a drop down here, and this is going right down to what, the 50? Yeah. So these are some of the levels that I'm looking for. Again, I'd like to see what happens if we chop back and forth through the levels on Sunday night. I think one big target that we should be looking for next week is 118. I'm sorry, 1844. Come on, Kip. Come on. Thank you. Um, I think 1840 is going to be a big thing next week. 1850, 1840, somewhere in this range in here is where I would expect prices to move down to. Um, I don't know if we can go much lower than that because again, the Fed's not going to be like suddenly like, hey, you know what? Instead of 0.25 for the next two, we're going 0.5. I don't think we're getting that. Um, I do think that I am of the belief that yes, I do feel that overall, I feel like energy inflation is gone. I do feel that we are going to see some other inflationary factors out there, but I do feel that we are probably again, depending on what metric you're looking at, I think we're at the peak, right? I don't think we're going, his disinflation. We're not back to where prices were before the whole pandemic started. Um, I think we got a long way to go for that one. So I do think again, I'm much more likely to want to sell gold than buy gold at this point. But I do think 1850 will be a big area to watch out for. So, this is probably, I don't know, depending on how far we pull off this level, probably a Tuesday, Wednesday target. But that's where my next kind of shot for gold is down here at 1844. Silver, obviously not surprised. It looks exactly the same, right? We dropped through, right? Again, they rose us up, boom, holding, holding, holding. You were looking for the short today, and you can see it absolutely just got demolished to the downside. I think 22 is probably the target next week for silver. You can see just the size of this move right here. And again, we don't really have any, as blockbuster news, we're well within range of that 22. So for me, again, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it tick up a little bit more today, and then I'd like to see it open here, pull up and hit it, and then go. I would like a trend continuation with a Sunday night gap on this one, but 22 is my target. Again, right now, it's all the news is done. This market closes early. There's not much else we can do with it. Looking at the indices. Now, the indices are not doing as bad as what you would think. Again, VIX is ticking back again. All the news is out. There's nothing else we can get today. And again, everybody knows that this is bad. Dollar, obviously high and it's holding. And again, that second pop forward is what we kind of expected. But now is when we'll probably see it revert back again with the profit taking. So ES. So you can see ES came back down again. We can adjust this a little bit. It's funny. It would have been a great trade before. A little bit of a chop there. You can see what happened. 830 drove us right in, right? Oh, here, let me go down to that. Here we go. I mentioned this yesterday. I didn't like this zone as much because of this, right? Because of this. All right. Now, yeah, unfortunately, right here, right? Again, it was driven to that level right beforehand. It gave us a green. It was in the right level. It is a long. Yeah, I think this is you see the 830 punch down. I think everybody and their brother was shorting this one at the open, right? And that's why we're getting this to be. Again, it is red on the day because that's based off of the close. But since the open, it's been nothing but straight up. Question is now it's 1030. Will we see our 1030 reversal coming in? There's not really a defined level here to short it from, but will we see this from here start to head back to the downside as people really fully absorb? You know, set it for next week. Yeah, I hate this, right? Yeah, but that's how I feel too. You have a low here, and a low here, right? There are buyers sitting there. I really like this though. I like the range of this one. Hmm. Now it's Melissa and my mother. Everybody is panicked what's going to happen next week. Yeah. Just so everybody knows, right? Just so everybody knows, again, next week, Melissa has to go away. She originally thought she was not going to have to, but they are sending her next week. So she's got to go to one of the corporate facilities next week, kind of for like a training. But her office is like, oh, yeah, you have to go. Yeah, you have to go. We want somebody to go. So she's going. So it's going to be me and 4 kids next week. So I'm going to have to get some assistance from mom, obviously. We're trying to like judge what day, and actually the boys' mom's going to take them a little bit early, and then I'm going to take them back again. As well as I have a training next Tuesday night. I'm going to start reffing lacrosse as well. I have a training for that on Tuesday night, and then the kids have a special practice on Wednesday. So we have our normal practice at 6 to 7:30, and then at 8 o'clock we have to drive to Baltimore, and we have an 8 to 10 p.m. practice for box. Um, on Wednesday night, right? So I'm like, of all weeks that I have all this stuff going on, it's the week that Melissa gets sent to Tennessee. I was like, okay. But now my mom and Melissa are both panicked. So they're both messaging me right now, like, oh my God, what are you going to like, guys, I'm busy. I know, right, Buds? Yes, it's funny. So yeah, I would see this one. I think this one tears and rolls back down again. As far as opening print goes, it absolutely doesn't qualify for an opening print today between non-farm and then at 10 o'clock, half hour afterwards, having services come in with all the movement. Um, and again, am I surprised that it went up? No. Again, it was way too big of a number. Everybody was shorting, but we were really running right into kind of a brick wall. And that's why you're seeing the hit back in here. NQ looks exactly the same. Now, NQ did pull back. NQ, interesting enough, look at this. NQ, we did have a level of basing. Oops, not that one. This. Tip, if you knock that over, I'm going to be mad. There was your confirmation off that level, and you can see exactly what we started in. So, you know, no, we're not going to use this to hit things, please. Yeah, 915 was basically a doji in that one. So, yeah, you could have taken this one long. It was in a level. I would say that, again, very risky for most people out there. This would have been a very, very risky long. Everybody and their brother was trying to short this one because of the data. Huge push down. Oh my God, that data was horrible. And yes, everybody can see that the data was horrible, and they knew that. But it wasn't a basing confirmed level. And again, it was confirmed at 315, so it was an overnight. So the reality is, take the news out. It did actually qualify for an opening print today. I would have said at opening print. Again, I do think that the markets, and actually two of them have turned green right now. I do think overall, my opinion is, again, they're stopping a lot of people out right now. The market is basically ignoring the fact that, labor is so, oh my God, this is so great. It's like, yeah, like, dude, like, I don't know. The market literally does not believe that the Fed is going to continue to raise for some reason. I don't know why. But again, such big movement into that level with a confirmation in the overnight. Yeah, and dangerous because we had the 10 a.m. release afterwards. But yeah, it is. This is. It's a couple things, Nur. Yes, it's a parabolic move and it is a parabolic retracement. It is kind of the opening print, but it's also, this is the overnight low. So this is a bear trap is what this really is. Okay. It happens to be a bear trap into a confirmed level. So it's a couple strategies all going on top. Yes, parabolic move. You're looking for a parabolic retracement because of the intensity of that move to the downside. Now, again, if there was no 10 o'clock, absolutely, you pull that trigger every day of the week, right? Every day of the week. The 10 o'clock ISM number does make it a little bit more dangerous because you got another news release over here. And even though that was great, which should be great for the dollar, it's good because you're like, oh my God, look, we're expanding again. That's awesome, right? This is great. But remember, labor is what the Fed says the problem is right now. And that's why inflation is hanging around and staying and growing, is because of the labor market. So again, the market is being very choosy in what they're looking at. Again, all major companies are laying people off right now, right? People are getting laid off, but they're also hiring people back again. And I kind of mentioned this yesterday and was kind of like, oh, I feel bad for some people because I know some people listen to the channel that have recently been laid off, just from dealing with them. And again, I'm not singling them out, but this, if you look at it from a business standpoint, yeah, when during, the last year, right? During the great resignation, yeah, you were quitting because somebody across the street wanted to pay you 20 and $30,000 more, right? Is a big deal. Well, now a lot of people are getting laid off because people are downsizing. And why do you downsize now? Well, if I could pay somebody $20,000 less as a business owner, or as a board that has a right to shareholders, if I can cut 20 or $30,000 from each employee and hire somebody back right away, because so many people are looking, right? Because people are nervous. Why would I not do it? So that's kind of what we're seeing. So the data is kind of mixing this one up, and yeah, this one is a mini parabolic. It is a news based kind of reversal. Easy. It's also a bear trap, right? It's a bear trap that coincides with bad news. Well, good news, but bad news, right? So it's all kinds of things all in one, right? This is why there are many different strategies out there that work. There's not just one thing that works. If your main strategy was a parabolic retracement, absolutely parabolic retracement trade. If your new strategy is Globex traps, this is absolutely without a doubt, it's a Globex trap, right? It's a Globex bear trap, right? It's also, for me, I call them opening prints, right? It's that opening print where, again, you're looking for confirmed levels in the overnight. Well, there's a level of basing easy to see. And we did actually have a confirmation of it inside of the European session. And that's where it drove to. And that's where it started. So just different ways to look at the same thing. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on with that one. YM. Now YM a little choppier. And again, this is because it's labor, industry and things like that. This one chopped. And again, this one kind of gave you a pullback right at 10 o'clock and then took off. So very, very similar. And again, is it in a great confirmed level? No, this candle is horrible. But when people look at this one, and again, it's late last night, right? It's yesterday afternoon. They're looking at this and be like, oh, that was the after hours overnight low. And we went below it, and it was bad data, so people are looking to short it. It's a bear trap. That's why it turned. And again, is that a parabolic move? Kind of, but not really. Like this is a parabolic candle. This is a parabolic candle. This one, not so much. So this is, I'd say, more of a bear trap. And again, ascending candles, you could have easily said, okay, well, listen, there's the base. If we get back to that one, I'm looking for it. And had you done that, then yes, there was your pullback, right, for the news, right? The news, the 15 minutes beforehand, right? The candle right before news, what did it do? It sent it down. So you're like, oh, this is a long trade setup. It's pulling back to a zone. And that's exactly what happened. It triggered right there, and boom, there's your 1 to 3. You're out on the top side. So again, a lot of fast and aggressive type stuff very, very quickly that you could have traded on that one as well. And then Russell is the last one, right? Russell, it was a confirmed zone. It was a confirmed zone. Looks just like, thank you. Right? Yeah, news, what did it do? Drove it straight down again for the open. And again, here's your last kind of after hours, right? Right? This is your kind of after hours. The confirmation was yesterday. It wasn't as clean as NQ, so it wasn't a US based session touch. Oh, bud, you stink. But there you go. There's your open. Super negative. Everybody's going to, that's it. Short, short, short. And it was in a confirmed basing level from yesterday, and it took off. And again, pullback, but the pullback didn't get you to where you needed to go. But if you look at it, the 945 candle was red, right? 945 candle was red. 15 minutes beforehand, magically the market pulled back again. Why? To get a better price. So when the news came out, it took off, right? So, yeah. Buddy, what are you doing? No, stop. So, yeah, is what it is. All right, so that's it for today. Like I said, so hard to do any analysis to give you guys any trade setups. Literally, after the largest, the what's considered the biggest market mover, right? Non-farm is considered the biggest market mover, especially with as much as it blew it out of the water and then followed up by an ISM. It's really hard. Again, look, the dollar again, 240 right now. It's up 240. That is an ATR, a daily ATR of 165. But look what it's doing. It's starting to run out of steam, right? Starting to run out of steam. And again, we're at the top level, sitting there right around the 131 mark. So, yeah, I mean, it's all kind of predictable today. So, as I said, very, very easy setup today with non-farm. Lots of movement, very, very quickly. There will be a retracement. Maybe we just hold firm, and then Monday turns into that red day. But again, the market for some reason is like, nah, they're still going to lower interest rates. It's okay. It don't matter. This is all so good. So good. But yeah, the market is going to continue. Again, eventually. No, stop. Here, get down. Okay. gonna do that. It does turn and roll. So, all right, let's go. Kip is now melting down. So, we're gonna do the drawing. We're gonna end it off for the week, right? He's such a crybaby. I swear to God, Jin never cried, and he's like, "No, you're gonna tell me no? I'm gonna cry." All right, whatever. It's so lost. I'm like, buddy, you're number 4. Like, I'm not playing that game. But he thinks it still works. So, all right, let's close it down. So, winner of today's drawing is. Oh, this has been Ernest number 3 today. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I'm not going to say any names because you guys know what happens when I say names, right? I'm like, look at that. They're on equal footing, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, 33.33 chance. It was there. Ernest was going for 250, so he only risked 40 pip chips to make 250, right? Neuro used a little bit more. Neuro was slightly negative today. Slightly negative, right? But Ernest didn't go high enough today. He should have let it roll and thrown 10 in there and stacked his odds to 50%, right? He would have been at 50% chance of winning today, but he only had 33. So Neuro takes it. Again, it's how the cookie crumbles. How the cookie crumbles. Let's go over and give Neuro his 25. So again, Neuro was technically negative on the day, but sometimes, that's how you play that game. So, all right. So that's it for this week, guys. Thank you guys so much. Like I said, definitely a fun week. Looking at next week, we got a decent amount of stuff in here. Again, this Tuesday right here, this PAL thing, right? I think there may be some fireworks here, right? But again, we got a rate raise on Monday night, which is big. You got a couple people speaking. You have the pound doing some economic forecasts. And then Friday, we have GDP coming in for the pound. I think this is a big, look, it's already picking to be negative. They just raised the 0.5, and it's, again, we got another one. And again, we got some unemployment and consumer sentiment. So we got a lot going on next week. But look at this. Big moves on a Friday. I would expect some retracement here pretty soon. It is what it is. So thank you so much. I will catch you guys next week. And again, I think this Sunday night, I definitely think there's some reversals set up for Sunday night. So make sure you do your homework tomorrow. Be ready to trade on Sunday evening. With that said, I'm out of here. You guys, thank you so much. I'll catch you Monday morning, 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. If I'm still live. Actually, Melissa doesn't leave till Monday morning. So Monday, we're good. Tuesday, we'll see if I'm alive on Tuesday. So you guys have a great weekend. Take care, and I'll see you then.